Okay. So we're starting week 7 of the Karma Showdown with a challenger battle this time. We have A-side challengers as I Can't, and Zilla. And on B-side we've got Singetsu or Mingetsu, Xrom, and Jing. So we're starting off with draft with a Taka ban seeming to be aimed at Xrom. How do you think the rest of the draft is working out here?
Well, seeing as we have target bans from A side, we might see some like picks that also disable B side from getting them. So maybe some direct picks like this guy who's been hovered over. I know that Mengetsu sometimes likes to play Sky, so could be targeted to him, or they could just be picking it because she's pretty strong. Zilla looks like he wants Arden instead. Arden being picked up by A side, so pretty standard roamer. A very good roamer at the moment. So how do you think B side will respond?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the prioritization based on the roamers instead of a jungler, which we've been seeing in the past pretty much. So, but no Blackfeather or Ryan this time around with the new patch. Saw being picked up though, considering he's been not as much meta as he was with the nerfs that he's gotten, but Saw Lyra being picked up. So let's see how A-side responds to that.
This does leave the Rona open, which they do end up picking. Very good pick into Saw with the Sky as well. So she can land her ultimate on Saw very easily, which can cancel his damage output and this A-side looks like they have a pretty good draft with the B-side. And Oza being picked up from B-side as well as the counter pick. What do you think of that?
Ozo could work, but I feel like with the amount of crowd control, and Rona works pretty well in the Ozo. She also has a Mortal Wound built into her kit, but it'll be interesting to see the early lane matchup against with Saw and Lyra up against their Rona. She'll have a hard time starting up, but we'll see how they try to play the early game and go to mid game where they'll come out stronger against the comp by Challenger B.
Something I want to point out as well is A side, all three of their members are on positions that they're most known for, most comfortable with. B side, however, has Mengetsu in lane, not a typical choice for him. He'd usually jungle mainly, but so we'll see how that turns out in the following. The battle's begun, so getting straight into this match.
Yeah, we have a CP Sky who's with the buffs that she's gotten. She's also let's see how she plays out in this meta. She's pretty strong against Ozo and Saw and Lyra as well, because they don't have a strong front line that can body block as much. And Rona works pretty well under the Ozo and Saw as well. So it's gonna be a tough time for Challenger B.
Icon seems to be AFK. Bought his contract but hasn't moved from base. Not sure what's happening there. But I want to also point out the Rona who didn't actually buy a Book of Eulogy, which is definitely a common item, especially into a Saw that you pick up as a laner. Jinhua dropping low, but gets that with his life. Ican jumps in again, gets the Lyra. Suppressing Fire will not take down Ican. And great hope from Wave. And Ican actually back. Zilla landing a immaculate forward barrage, landing pretty much every single one of those bullets. A side very low though, as Icon gets brooded, but they will just pull it back.
Yeah, Icon will probably pick up a book now, or does not still. So that's an interesting choice starting up with that. Picks up a minion candy as well to help with his early laning phase and to try to stall the Saw a little bit. But Saw's got a huge wave pushing in with him. Lyra doing good amount of work against the Arden there as well.
there's also a double contract coming on that Arden, which is semi. It's I wouldn't say it's meta, but it's definitely not an uncommon pickup for Arden. And
Yeah, it works pretty well on Arden, given his kit.
It seems to also, it would really help out this Rona be able to sustain as well in lane against this Saw. But, yeah. Zilla also doesn't have any energy items. Have a fight, Zilla kind of gets caught out, but B-side just disengages as Zilla goes a bit too far away.
Yeah, Saw being able to bring the turret down to half. A good amount of turret damage there. Rona jumps in, but gets poked out by the Saw and has to retreat again.
The feels from Lyra keeping still topped off, plus the Eulogy's passive. Like Zilla Suri strikes in with a little bit of poke on Mengetsu. Mengetsu's quite low. Heals in 2 seconds, plus the potion will bring him back up to full low. Ozo jumping in on ICAM.
Getting a good amount of AoE down there as well.
Pops his potion just to ensure he survives. But
yeah, that's a long way in Saw not being able to follow up because of how immobile and slow he is.
Yeah, his side's actually quite healthy at the moment as well. I can't get him very working up suppressing fire. But no kills coming out of that.
Team B backing off though, especially when Rona was really low, and they could have pushed her maybe, but they decided to go back and shop since the Saw was sitting on a ton of gold right there.
Yeah. Also, the jungle shop is now up, so that could, so the teams don't have to port that. Zero trying to steal farm as he does get the tree in. So, and he gets both fronts, which is easy man's gold back into his pocket. Disengages with his ultimate.
Yeah, him getting to level 6 before everyone else definitely gives him the edge right there. Also trying to be sneaky, but Sky went and catches him out as well. Arden's going really low.
I can also
using his perk.
So it looks like he will be going down.
And so has Arden.
Yeah. As Extra looks for the dive, will actually go for it. Gets a double, gets a triple kill.
Gets a triple kill. Extra on fire on this Ozo.
I was a little bit skeptical of the pick at first, but it seems to be working as he has a reliable way to dive this Sky. He's usually quite hard to actually engage on, so it seems to be working for B-side.
Yeah, 2 turrets out of the back of that. That's great pressure from Team B. They've got a good, decent 2k goal lead building up as well. So this is going to be great to see how the mid-game works out as the Rona and Sky start to pick up from here. Also, Arden should be getting his gauntlet soon enough, so that'll be interesting to see the way they make plays with that.
Zilla actually picks up a Frostburn, which is interesting to say because Saw's quite immobile, so Frostburn doesn't really affect him too much, and Ozo just has to dive. So he can actually dive straight onto this Sky as if the right bulwark. No, with
and the Sky goes down very quickly.
Yeah. Right now, B-side like a ton of momentum and their gold lead. It's allowing them to really take these fights quite convincingly. So yeah, gold mine also being started off by B-side.
Yeah, and Team A burning Fountain and Arden for the Sky, but not being able to get much out of there.
I can actually
steals the gold mine, but goes down for it. Worthy trade, I would say.
Yeah, as she was actually not, she was on a 0 kill gold bounty, I'm pretty sure. So that's only about 50 gold, maybe times 3 due to the assists. So that's like maybe max 150 gold for B side compared to the 253, which times 3, so about 750 gold for A side. So definitely a great trade.
Yeah, the gold lead was starting to go upwards of 3k gold, and that would have put them in a very comfortable position. But with the steal coming in now, the gold sits about evenly, just a 1k gold lead, which isn't much at this point in time, especially with 2 turrets down. So let's see if that helps Team A to pivot back into the game and make some strides in there.
The gauntlet's available now for A side. Zero gets completely caught out with that bangarang, and while I can just spins, tries to get as much damage as he can, but this Uzo just goes straight back up with his A. Ican actually dropping very low with the acrobatic drops. Ican getting chased by Extron, but Extron just disengages. So a great fight for these guys. Really gets straight. So that won't be going to good side.
Yeah, Sky being really squishy helps, and without a block, Ozo can easily ult onto her and then just displace her in a position where she gets taken down by a Saw quite quickly. Saw sitting on a lot of gold, should be able to complete the Tyrant's Monocle, which I assume he's going to be building into now. So that's a lot of damage on the Saw as well. Ozo completing his Aftershock, working towards a Dragon's Eye, I believe. So he's got a ton of damage building as well.
Icon actually does have his Atlas now, which he built just before. With no block on Mengetsu, this Atlas will almost guarantee to get through unless Jing can block it. So that would nullify most of his damage, and that might actually swing a fight into A-side's favor. Zilla's also infused at the moment, so if they can pick a fight in the next 30 seconds or so, maybe they can actually take a win. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, also the breaking point picked up on Rona is a huge power spike, because she can survive and dish out a good amount of damage throughout the fight, which the fights have been going longer when it comes to Rona, even though the Sky has been getting taken down pretty quickly. This is a bad place to fight in the third point against the Sky, and the Gauntlet comes down, stuns the Ozo out of his ultimate, and the Saw gets taken down by the Rona. Lyra really low. Ozo trying to go in there, but it doesn't seem like he'll be able to survive that. He gets shut down. Lyra's still alive. Maybe but she's gonna be left alone. They're gonna go for the objectives rather than the kill.
Smart choice by
right there. Yeah, the ultimate from Ozo didn't quite work out because he was stunned by the Gauntlet, which was perfectly placed to put the Saw, to sort of put the Saw in there, and the Saw couldn't get out of it. Just a crucible on. Saw steals the gold payout right there, and Army gets taken down as well.
With that fight just before, Ican was actually infused, but I think Zilla had like a brief 5 seconds maybe on his infusion as well, which could have led to a little bit of advantage. So these 2 infusions, while the other team wasn't infused, probably helped them to really swing that fight into their favor.
Yeah, but all they couldn't get out of it was 2 kills on the Ozo and the Saw, but they weren't able to capitalize on that because they didn't get a turret or any damage on the turret, and they lost the gold mine to the Saw as well. So they were unable to capitalize on the infusions and probably lost quite a bit of gold on that too as well.
Little trade. Arcane passages in, Mengetsu was a little bit low. Arcane jumping straight in. Red miss just to get some damage. Arcane also dropping quite low. Mengetsu's
through the entire thing. Lyra really low as well, but Rona jumps on her, tries to take her down. Doesn't work out. Sky gets away with the sliver of her health.
Rona has 18 breaking points. That's 19. Really dishing out this damage now. She also takes down the sword before with that Ozo, so that's decent amount of gold going to him, and a turret looks like it's going to go down for A side, and that's a turret, and that's 600 gold going to A side's pocket, so this gold lead has now decreased by only 600.
Yeah, also Lyra goes down with it, but the Saw doesn't really have any chase potential, especially against the Sky, so he's going to give up that endeavor.
So now it's really equalized, I guess, in the momentum, and both teams now showing that they both can win fights if they position themselves right. So,
yeah, it depends on who initiates the fights as well. And goal lead's sitting pretty even, but Team B with the soft pick have the potential of falling off. There's another fight going on in the choke point right there, which is what this fight
I can actually drop him very low. Actually, falls to a ultimate attack from Saw, being portals in, and falls while I can just fighting. Zilla actually drops to a basic attack, trying to get the kill on the Saw, but that's a 2-for-2 trade, so
yeah,
still a fight.
Yeah, but the Team A managed to get an ace off the back of that, because Ozo hasn't respawned yet, so he can't solo in the gold mine right there. But Ozo is better off. But no steal this time, and I can't go in, and Ozo going really low and let it go down to this. So the Rover's starting to pick up momentum and really dishing out the damage and putting in work with the picks that she's being able to get.
B-sides also had a hard time killing her. Her metal jacket and her Aegis on that Rona is complete, so a lot of defense coming out from ICANN. The gold lead's actually swung to A-side's favor now for about 600, so definitely a change in what was going on early game.
Yeah, and also sustain from her Serpent's Mask and fortified health from her ultimate and the Arden is helping her survive the fights for long enough to be able to get those breaking points stacked up and take down pretty much the entire team right there.
Zilla's built his E, so that will also help A-side sustain in these fights, and which has allowed them to really just dish out the damage while not actually taking too much back.
Yeah, so pretty much 3 items complete on the Sky, working towards a clockwork, I assume. Also, Roland is pretty much has all her core items that she needs, including her defenses, and might be going for a third offensive item, but she doesn't really need it to put out the kind of damage that she needs to be able to take down the Saw.
As well, while none of B-side is infused, I can't just get the Atlas off.
They take a fight next to the Crystal Sentry and put down the Gauntlet, but they're still able to take the Saw down, putting on tons of damage right there. Ozo might be going down soon as well. And he does, and they're all chasing the Lyra now to be able to get the ace. And right when Kraken is on the fold as well, so this should be a huge lead for Team A.
That's the ace coming out for Team A. Kraken being started up. This should be a relatively free Kraken unless the Saw who comes up in 1 second does try to steal, but not sure if he'll be able to get it.
Yeah, he won't be able to get to the Kraken by the time they're able to take it.
So Kraken unleashed for Team A. Kraken unleashed, and this is a huge opportunity to really take their advantage that they've now accrued and really maximize and push their advantage. I can just focus in the turret, but if I have to switch his aggro onto the store, turret goes down, I can at about 3/4, I can't less than half, so A-side has the health advantage at the moment.
And also it's sustained with the Lyra. And the Kraken just coming in now, but Rona taking a ton of damage from just the focusing this off. Focusing the Kraken now, but Team A could jump in with the gauntlet to try and initiate a fight.
The second turret goes down, the replacement turret for Team A, so a lot of gold, plus the sentry also goes down. That was a great push from Team A.
Yeah, they get their 2 turrets, which puts them on top, and also gets a choke point turret. So if they manage to win the next fight, that should be game. But and we finally had Infusion starting to be picked up in Team B. Bone Saw also completed on the Saw, so that should be a ton of damage on the Rona, who has her metal jacket.
Item actually has an echo now, so that double gauntlet or double vanguard, if it decides to go for that, that can really change up the battlefield and push an advantage for Team A. Clockwork also being picked up by Wazilla also.
Yeah, those are some great item power spikes. Also, interesting item by the Lyra, where she picks up a null wave gauntlet, and what seems to be like she's working towards a clockwork instead of prioritizing health or defense items. There's a big gauntlet right there, and this comes down.
Those are dropping really fast as well. And Jesse also gets bursted down. Being hard trying to run away, but from the clockwork side, that's not really going to happen. A-side gets an ace, and this probably will be game. 30-second respawn times.
Yeah, with the ace rate pushing in and the amount of damage that they have, they should be able to finish up here.
They divide the turrets as well, so to maximize their time to get this damage on the vein crystal. And this will be game. Sky getting the vein crystal.
Yeah, losing the first 2 turrets in quick succession early game and being able to put a ton of pressure on Team A, they still were able to stall out, get their items, and then pressure back because onto the Saw falling off, and once they had their power spikes in, were able to really get the game going and capitalize on that.
Yeah, Team A definitely had to scale in order to win, which they, the B-side didn't allow them to actually scale because they didn't push their early advantage enough. So that ended up leading to A-side's victory. So Team A moving on to the champions, to the champion battle. So we can see how that will pan out real soon.
Yeah, so they will be facing off against champions that have been champions for 5 weeks now. So this will be interesting and to see how they and